For daily ask Reddit, dads of Reddit, what's your best don't tell mom story? My wife or I will write notes and put them in our 9-year-old son's lunchbox most days. One day my wife's note was found by a boy named Maximum in my son's class and read aloud to his table. Needless to say, my son came home quite embarrassed. Since I'm currently unemployed, I went to have lunch with my son at school the next day. Towards the end of lunch, he points the boy out to me. We have always preached turning the other cheek, telling the teacher, etc. But something about this kid's face made all those teachings fly out of window. I told my son, now listen, I'm going to tell you something you can say to him, but you cannot tell your mother. My son replies that he'll keep our secret, so I give him a pretty mild burn and tell him to use it discreetly. Fast forward to that evening and my wife is signing the daily conduct sheet upon which is written, your son came into the classroom after lunch and yelled to the entire class that Maximum's mother doesn't send him notes because she doesn't love him. He didn't rat me out to the teacher, but I fell on the sword for him at home. Not dad but son. When I was about 5 years old, I was playing hide and seek with my mom and dad. Dad would pick a spot for me to hide and mom would come looking. Dad decided mom would never find me if he opened the window and put me out onto the roof of the balcony, a floor below us, 3-story apartment house. When I was a kid, my dad would mow the lawn and then sneak up to the local dive bar and have a beer before my mom noticed he was done. I grew up in a town of roughly 1,200 people and the bar was 2 blocks away, so it was totally feasible. My dad used to bring me with him, bribe my silence with a $1 bag of Redskin peanuts and a can of Mountain Dew. My mom always knew, because I'd slip up about the peanuts a day or two later. Fast forward to being 24. I'd just moved to a new state after grad school with my then boyfriend's job. I was underemployed at the time and my only company was my new kitten. I didn't tell my parents, but I think my dad always knew I was miserable. One day I got a package from home that was 1 pound of Redskin peanuts. He tracked down the vendor from the bar and bought them in a bulk bag. Still warms my heart when I think about it 3 years later. My mum went on a relaxing ladies only holiday with her friends for 2 weeks when my brother and I were 5 and 8 respectively. 2 hours after we waved goodbye to her at the airport, my brother managed to drop an entire drawer on his foot and sever his entire little toe. The doctors weren't sure if they could save it, but they succeeded. By the time mum got home, my brother had a bandage around his toe and as far as he was concerned, he'd just had an owie. I don't think she found out until about 10 years later when my brother said, "Hey, remember when I almost lost my toe while mum was on holiday, lol." That was a memorable family dinner to say the least. At 16 my parents helped me get a car. The keys to freedom were, per dad, no tickets, pay my own gas and maintenance, and per mom, home by curfew after a few close calls / negotiating a few extra minutes with upset mom. Dad recommends I call him if I'm cutting it close. Really? From then on, I'd call dad. He'd tell mom that he would wait up, aka fall asleep in the laser boy. This was a 2 birds 1 stone deal. He got parenting cred from mom, go on to bed, honey, and a good night's nap in the laser boy until I drifted home. Miss you, dad. One night I was enjoying a small bit of ice cream after my 4-year-old daughter went to bed. She came downstairs and caught me, so I offered her a small bite, but since she was supposed to be in bed, I said don't tell mom. She assured me she wouldn't. My wife wouldn't have cared anyway, but it was a fun little game to play. After she went up to bed and I was down on the couch, she snuck into the master bedroom where mom was resting. She told mom that I had let her have some ice cream and she was afraid of sugar bugs, so could she please brush her teeth again. My wife just laughed at me the next day. Little shit ratted me out to brush her teeth, something she doesn't like doing anyway. Buying extra candy for Halloween. I was afraid my wife wouldn't pick up enough. She works at Costco, so I took my daughter to the store and told her we'd buy stuff we liked, that way we could eat it all year if we didn't use it, but we had to hide it from my wife until Halloween. We have a no lying rule. So I told my daughter we'd tell her mom after she bought her candy at work in a few days. When my wife got home from work that night, my daughter immediately said, "Daddy, can I please tell mommy about the candy?" Right in front of my wife. I'll be honest, I'm just glad that my 8-year-old daughter is such a terrible liar. I was once a resourceful young lad and would ride bikes with a friend to the recycle center behind some stores. We would jump in the magazine's bin and pull out all the Playboys, Hustlers, Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition, and well, anything with pictures of girls. Sometimes we sold them to our middle school peers, and as fate would have it, some kid ratted me out when he got caught with it. My mom launched an all-out search for the porners. She found somewhere near 200, about 50% of the loot. They were all on the dining room table when I got home from school. Mom wouldn't even talk to me and just said, "Wait until your father gets home." A couple hours later, I get yelled at by both parents, grounded for a month, no TV, no phone, no friends, etc. When I wouldn't give up the names of kids I sold to, I got an extra month of restrictions. The next night I found a Playboy under my pillow with a post-it note that said 200 is excessive, but so is 2 months restriction to your room. Here is one. Hide it better and don't tell your mother.